Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and many thanks for attending this presentation. Well, today we are excited to present to you one of the international residential programs we have designed at EAE Business School together with UC Berkeley. Today we have the luxury of having here Frederick Berkeley, who is the Director of International Initiatives at UC Berkeley. And well, we have been in contact all these months to design an exciting program for you to choose if you are oriented to this type of activities. Obviously, we'll tell you the main differential values, the main activities we are going to address in this program. Well, as you know, or maybe you know from other offers from EAE, basically for alumni, people like you, maybe you are online or you're present here, people like you that you are finishing your major on different minors at EAE, then we would like to continue with your education, and we are offering this type of residential and international programs for you to see, to increase your learning experience after a major like this. Well, basically in this sense, the challenge was to design a very good program, basically in project management, but also oriented to MBA holders. And that was basically a challenge in the sense that, well, me as a director of the Master in Project Management, I told them, well, you are already masters in project management, and these MBA holders know also about project management and agile methodologies. So it's difficult, no, to increase your experience and knowledge about this once you finish your major with us. That's why we contacted a top university like Berkeley to see, and that was, if you remember, one of our guidelines or our requirements to say, okay, take into account that our students will know a lot about project management. They are PMP certified. If they have followed an MBA, they know about how to transform their business. They know about entrepreneurship, innovation. They know about agile concepts. So we want a lot from this program. So that's why we designed, obviously with their proposals. They had many proposals and alternatives. We are very happy to design with them these contents. Well, later we'll tell you exactly specific dates, conditions, etc. But well, maybe now I will introduce you to Frederick for him to tell you more about Berkeley in general and this program. Okay. So
thank you very much. It's a great pleasure of being here in Barcelona. I really enjoy this place. I'm discovering it, so you're very lucky. And so you can ask yourself, not only because you finished already, you're finishing a very high-level program, why go abroad? The weather will not be better in Berkeley, that I can guarantee. In San Francisco in summer, it's a little bit foggy and so on. So it's certainly not for the weather that you're coming from Barcelona to Silicon Valley. You're probably coming for another reason. And the reality is that we're in our department, which is the extension department of the university, we have a very specific mission, that is to design very specific futuristic programs that cater better to specific needs than anyone else can do, because we are transdisciplinary. So we are not limited to teaching just business or just sciences or just humanities. And also because we are the unit of the university that is actually able to bring in people from industry. And those are not just anyone, these are people working in Silicon Valley, and bring in researchers from the university. And that can be Berkeley, and that can also be other universities. And so that's very interesting and powerful as a concept, if you want. And that is something that has helped us not only be very good in research, but also be very good and known in academic design, and mostly because we work with partners. We are not inventing stuff out of thin air. We're working with partners like EAE. And this type of program is a very good example. It's because it was over several weeks with our faculty, your faculty, back and forth, what is exactly the program that makes sense for you. So The numbers that you see here on the slides are usually quite impressive and a little bit frightening for some people. We are the world's #1 public university. That ranks us around number 4 in all universities together, so private and public. The reason, oh yeah, I see the 104 Nobel Prize winners have gone through Berkeley and so on. Why this is interesting is not because it is, oh my gosh, one of these big brands and one of these great universities. What is interesting about it is just what made it, quote unquote, so successful. Where does this ranking come from? And it's very simple. This is mostly research, and research that matters, research that has an impact, and this is all what this university was designed around. This university was designed and has the mission to give back to people. It is paid by the people of California, and it is made for the people of California, not just to educate them, but also to help the population. It's in our mission statement that our most valued objective is really to bring back and to give back and increase wealth and welfare for everyone. So now, third millennium, of course, we're not doing this just for the people of California. Well, that's what we did 150 years ago. Now we're doing it worldwide, and we're doing it in collaboration with world-renowned, outstanding partners. And what you will find in Berkeley, because of this ranking, is that you will find people that are exceptional. Everyone that comes to Berkeley and goes through Berkeley is selected, and is not just selected based on grades. If you have very, very good grades, you will not necessarily make it into Berkeley. What the selection criterion is, first and foremost, it is exceptional. If you are somebody who wants to change something, if you are somebody who wants to make a difference, if you're somebody who is interested in finding out how can you impact, how can you meet other people that will work with you on something bigger than just having a job, then that's the right place to go. And that mentality of giving back, having an impact, that's what makes Berkeley, and that's what makes the whole area. We are located in what we call the larger Silicon Valley, or the Bay Area. It's actually 3, you would say, areas. You have the East Bay, that's where we're located. So if you look on the graphic, that's to the left. Oh, sorry, I just changed it here. So it's to the left on the top, that's where we are. That's the sunny side. That's the, if you want, intellectual side. We have Berkeley is a, I don't know if you can see it on the slide before. Berkeley is a botanical garden. So you know it's very intellectual, very hippie, alternative, eco-friendly people, but it's still Americans. So of course they need to be better than everybody else. So they are having like competition since the 70s. Who has the nicest, most exotic garden? So there are incredibly nice and exotic gardens out there in Berkeley, and it's really a place that that makes you or that liberates you. It's very open, very free. It's known in the United States and worldwide for free speech, for freedom of thinking, of being. Nobody will ever look at you and question what you're doing, question what you're wearing. It's absolute, total tolerance and freedom in whatever you want to do. On the other side of the bay, you have San Francisco. San Francisco is one of the big capitals in the United States. Now has the biggest skyscraper on the West Coast, which is the Salesforce Tower. Very good example of how quickly you can become a world-leading company in these days, the Salesforce CRM system. And then what you have towards the south of the bay is what you would call the heart of Silicon Valley. That's where the first chip-producing companies actually settled down, semiconductor companies back in the 50s. And that's where all the, how to say, engineers made their home. It is an environment that is born out of the idea to share. It's born out of the idea to give back. If engineers came here from all over the world, and business people came here from all over the world to build something, is because most of the time it's far away. It's far away from the old money. It's far away from the powerful people, the companies having a grip on everything. It's in a place where there is freedom to act and to do what you like and what you want. And that is what makes this whole area unique. It is the capacity of inventing something, and in the process of inventing it, sharing with other very smart, very good people. And these people give a feedback. They make your idea better, and they say, oh my gosh, this is great. I know another guy who might be helping you out. And then they put you in contact with somebody else. And this is what makes this area particular. That's what you call the secret sauce of Silicon Valley, and that's what makes it economically powerful. If you see the number, we are, you could say, the 18th global economy. So this little area, this is not much bigger than maybe the Barcelona larger area or urban area with the suburbs and closed towns. And it is economically more powerful than over 200 countries in the world. It has the third highest GDP per capita in the world. So people are producing a lot. We were talking yesterday with colleagues of EAE as well about times to go to work. I myself grew up in Germany and had the idea of hardworking early Germans. And then I went to Silicon Valley and I saw people at 4 a.m. On Sunday going to work, and the highway was packed, and that's what they do. They go to bed at 9 and they go to work very, very early. They basically drive in their pajamas to work, because at work at Silicon Valley you have showers, you have pools, you have gyms, you can work out, you get breakfast, and then you can work the whole day. You can take a nap somewhere in a nap booth. Everything is actually made to have basically a home at work. Many startuppers that you can meet there will tell you that, oh yeah, when I started my business, I had like 1.5 months where I didn't go home. So that's the whole idea why they built these companies like this. And I'm sure you have heard of Silicon Valley work environments. And this is not, again, because people are hungry for money or because people are interested in becoming rich or influential or just crazy. This is because people come together in this area because they want to change something. They want to make an impact. And it's not necessarily the local people. Local people are like everywhere. They know, okay, we're here, and for them it's normal. So they might just as well study or open a coffee shop. It's not that particular for them to be in Silicon Valley. What is very interesting is the internationals that are coming in. And you have over 50 up to 60% of internationals in Silicon Valley. You basically have 55% of all startups that are foreign owned and created. So it is a wonderful melting pot of people from everywhere in the world wanting to be in an environment where they can finally make a change, finally share, be open, and find other people that are like-minded in that mindset. And if you take it back to the university, that is exactly the selection criteria that the university have, that we have, that also Stanford has, that all the UCs in the environment have. And this has been going on for 150 years. So by now, basically all the people in Silicon Valley are that and are like-minded. So it's a very interesting environment. So you see that this environment is not some place where you go to have a fun time in California. So you're not going to the beach surfing. Believe me, the Pacific Ocean there is so cold. You don't want to do that. It's not the Mediterranean. You go there actually to learn. You go there because you want to have a certain piece of expertise, of skills that you cannot get anywhere else. And that's why we design our programs and have also designed this program in a very special way, which has a 4-step learning approach. It's not just a lecture here and a lecture there and then maybe one class that is on one topic and then a completely unrelated topic some other day. This is a fully integrated program that adds on perfectly to what you have learned and that focuses on the parts of what you have not yet had access to and brings in the people that will give you an extra piece of information that when you come back, you will be unique. You will have something that nobody around you has. And we will also, by the way, teach you how to communicate that, because that will be your biggest challenge when you come back, is to actually tell somebody else of what happened and what they should do. So how can you achieve a deep learning within 2 weeks? Just a few days. It's a 4-step process that we use. The first is that you have your lecture. And it's a lecture where there is a lot of discussion. You know that as soon as you learn a concept, it starts creating a neural pathway in your brain. It's quite weak yet. If you start discussing, talking about it, at that point that neural pathway gets stronger. Still remains conceptual. You have learned a concept. To make that actually a reality, you need an experience. So you need, for example, a lab visit. You need to see where people make what you've learned reality. Or you need a company visit where you see actually how in a real environment does what I just learned manifest. How does that become action in a physical environment, and have somebody in that company talk about exactly that to you. At that point, your synapses, your pathways that you're building are strengthened because you have other parts of the brain that are adding to that experience. It's not just knowledge now, it's knowledge combined with an experience. And then you add another form of learning to it, which is application. You start doing it, trying to go from understanding to application, even physically, moving around, explaining it. At that point, you have motor parts of your cortex that are activated. You have speech, you have hearing, and then the learning becomes, again, more structured. It's not just learned and experienced, now it becomes a skill. And the fourth ultimate step of learning is when you're able to teach. And teaching happens in the discussion in class, it happens in the workshop, and it happens also in networking events, conferences and places where we will take you and where we will also show you how to go on your own. If you go there, once in a lifetime experience, you will not spend your evening watching TV in the hotel room. That's for sure. Every evening, you can have 30 events on the topic that you're interested in. You're interested in health tech, you'll find a health tech event basically every evening. You're interested in fintech, you're interested in general entrepreneurship, whatever is interesting to you, whatever topic is interesting to you, will find events of experts that take place in San Francisco, that take place in Silicon Valley, Berkeley, and you can just go either there for free or that they cost maybe 10, 15 bucks. If you pay, you get food. It's also nice. They usually take place in places like Airbnb, LinkedIn, big companies. Our university is hosting a lot of them as well. And that's where you actually build network by sharing what you're doing. So you're going to go there and tell about what you're experiencing, where you're from, and then that will allow you to really make it a reality. And telling a complete stranger who is not in my group what I'm actually doing, if you manage that, you have achieved learning, understanding, application, the skill, and then our goal is the mastery when you are able to teach. So that is our learning approach, and I think I can hand over for you to go into the nitty-gritty of the program.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. Okay, so based on these learning methodologies that I think it was very clear and very exciting, what we designed was a program around different pillars. So we have, apart from these workshops, lab visits, etc., you will find several lanes which are interconnected, as you said. They are not islands. Everything will be interconnected. We can, for example, talk about for instance, optimizing value delivery, this pillar this block is based on, well, let's say that you are participating in a project management office. This may be oriented not only to startups. Let's say you want to deploy a new business, not only a startup, maybe you are already in a big company and you are in charge of a new product relative to innovation. So, well, instead of talking about, they say instead of project management office, we are talking more about value delivery office. So, well, here you are going to learn how to optimize value in the sense that, well, knowing in a better way your customer, then learning how to eliminate waste from your processes. This is a type of orientation of this pillar. No? Obviously related to design thinking, as you may know, well, many techniques here to learn how to be very creative in the establishment of kind of requirements for your product or your innovation initiative. In this, well, I'm going back and forth because all these pillars are very related. In another aspect is accelerating business. So, well, let's say that you are in this position, you want to expand your products, businesses, or you are starting up some initiative. It's not only about providing a maximum value, it's providing this in a fast way. So in a quick way, you have to innovate. Based on what? On requirements that somebody is thinking of? No, based on empirical data. So in this block, you learn how to iteratively apply agile methodologies and all these type of techniques to increase value in a fast way, always based on data gathered from your own users, this type of thing. Then this other pillar, it's called, it's mainly related to leadership. If you are already a leader or a project leader, team leader in your current company, well, and you want to apply this type of orientation, this type of mindset that you explained so well, well, you have to learn some things. You have to accept that your team is in charge. You have to empower them. So leading agile teams is another story, and here in this pillar we will handle that. And obviously embedded into all these topics we have change management. You may be a good project manager, but if your project is about changing your organization and changing your processes and even your mindset and your culture, then that's a challenge. So in this topic, we'll focus on that. This is basically in vertical, no? The different pillars are on different blocks of this program. You'll see here embedded all these type of methodologies, that lectures, sessions, visit, discovery labs, workshops, in all blocks, just to make you let's say really learn and based on all these days here. Apart from that, let's say from the horizontal point of view, we have an important aspect here, which is a kind of project. We may call this a project. So something that in groups or individually, that's up to you. There are not many requirements in this program. This is not only an academic program. So you can choose your own topic. Basically, you in the weeks or months before, you will be encouraged to select some initiative that you, or several ideas that you can have in mind. Then, well, there will be, you'll have a very good opportunity here to develop this idea all these days, with workshops, interactions, obviously with no academic rubrics. It's basically on yourself and with your colleagues that you will be evolving this idea and you will try to come out with some nice plan or even some data if you dare to in a fast way to make some prototyping if you can. Well, this means that you will have our support in terms of pitching. You will have, if you take a look at the program, the last day typically is the day where you will have a panel of experts before you, so you'll have the opportunity to pitch your idea as a final presentation. But this means that all along the way you'll be pitching and teaching your idea, which is, I totally agree as a teacher. Well, when I learn is when I have to teach something. So I think that will be, this is the core, like the backbone of this program in terms of specific results will be this final project. These are basically, obviously, the type of visits. You see that, well, we are mentioning here top companies like Salesforce, Airbnb, IBM, Uber. Obviously, there are plenty of possibilities here, obviously, depending on the agendas and the day-to-day activities. This can be selected on the spot. But this is the type of companies where you will see all these ideas in practice. You'll have these insights, you'll have the opportunity to learn from them, to talk to them, to make questions, always having in mind your own project. Networking events, as we said. You see that all these learning activities, this learning methodology is expressed in all these blocks, as we see on the slide. Basically, obviously, we'll be open to specific questions in terms of these subjects, but maybe we can go on. Yeah, this is just a summary of networking events. I mean, if you are there the 2 weeks, obviously, you will be all day trying to take advantage of this time.
I can maybe quickly explain what maybe some of them are. A networking event is really an event usually, for example, in a bar or something. Your Wednesday evening is free. So one of the good ideas is go to the Viewpoint networking event in the Marriott Marquis downtown in San Francisco. It's the Sky Bar of the Marriott Hotel. And there's a networking event, which means anyone who comes between 7 and 9 or 10, I think, is just there to meet other people and talk to other people. And it's an extremely interesting experience because, again, most people that come are from somewhere else. They don't have any particular friends and family there, so they just are very open to meet other people without being super impressive English speakers or super impressive people, outward going and so on. Most people there are very kind, very impact oriented, engineers, business people, people from humanities, arts and so on. It's very kind people, actually. There's no airs. You don't need to dress up. You don't need to look fancy. You don't need to pretend. You can really be who you are. You go to these types of networking events to actually connect, to find other people that are in the area, and people that might help you out, might give you advice, might give you an idea, share their opinion about what you're trying to do, your project, your professional project, and so on. We're talking yesterday to your colleagues in Madrid, and some of the students told me that they obviously are looking for a job insertion afterwards. And I told them, well, if you're a good project manager, Silicon Valley has a huge problem right now. We need more people. Like, we can't hire fast enough. There's no unemployment, and it's very tricky for companies to get enough people in. AWS, Amazon Web Services, is growing 50% per year. They are hiring hundreds and hundreds of people. Every year there's a lot of turnover. So that kind of environment is very interesting for young professionals. So I told your colleagues, well, while you're there, go networking, reach out to the alumni of EAE that you can find on LinkedIn and that live in the Silicon Valley area, and you know the timetable, and in the evening you can say, hey, do you want to meet for a coffee or for a drink? If you don't know anyone, you just want to check out people, go to networking events. Conferences are there as well. Conferences can run in the evening or on that weekend. So on that weekend, actually, we'll have to check it out, but there's oftentimes conferences, tech conferences, that take place that are very interesting. They might be a little more costly, but worth it, because then obviously you see star companies presenting their products. What is a little bit more fascinating for me personally is tech demo nights. That's when startups come and present their products. So there's kind of a showroom, they present their products, then they go into one room, pitch their ideas and pitch their projects to not only investors, but to everyone. So your project managers, you're looking for a job. If you want to work for a Silicon Valley startup, that's where you meet them, because that's where they present their stuff and they want to grow. They're raising money. As soon as they have raised their money, they need people to hire. So that's exactly the other people that go to these types of events. And then pitch contests. Pitch contests are really there to win investment. So it's not just demoing what you have. It's really an event where there's a large amount of investors, and then it's about getting in contact with those. And that's also very powerful for you if you have the chance to actually speak to venture capitalists. And it's funny because at any of these events, because people are so open, you can just afterwards go to these people and talk to them. You're interested in their company or in that field, they will open the doors for you. Many of them are international, many of them come from companies, from countries all around the world, so you can build yourself an international network like this. And the companies that we're going to visit are also not just places where you go and then you get the tourist tour. Each company is chosen on the day to deliver what makes sense to have the experience of what you learned that day. So there's no point of just, I don't know, going to any type of company on a day to see like the tourist kind of, okay, here's our standard PR and this is our company and that's it. You want to meet somebody who is relevant. So these companies are chosen like this. Give you the example. You have understood that if you look at the program, it will teach you something that is probably in project management, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Europe the most sought after skill is digital transformation on an organizational level. So each one of you can run a Scrum meeting, I'm sure, and knows how to build a Kanban board, and maybe you can have your little team that runs in an agile way. But can you transform Vodafone into an agile company? And that's the thing where Silicon Valley is very advanced, because there's a lot of companies that were created very recently, and they were created as agile companies. And that's why companies like GE that you see here as an old company is super interested in being in Silicon Valley and having innovation hubs there, because they hire these managers from the new companies and try to figure out how can you transform an old company that is mostly oriented for just making money for the stakeholders into a new company that is concerned with impact, growth, influence, bringing something good to people. And that's very, very powerful. And if you see again the program, that's exactly what you have, step by step. Understand the differences in project management. And then suddenly, I might just go back, first week, adaptive leadership, design thinking, optimizing value delivery. At that point, you have everything that it needs to convince. But then you go into accelerating business agility, leading agile transformation change, and change management, and lean change management. And these are really the techniques that you use today as best practices in companies to drive that change. You need to understand that you need to change the services in your company first and provide services that actually support the change that you want to drive. You need to understand that you can't just be a boss and say, everything is lean now, boom, that will never work. You have to go a little guerrilla style, lean, bootstrap the thing, start with some teams, make cases, make examples, choose them strategically. And so these company visits are exactly at that point. If you look at Salesforce on Monday, accelerating business agility. What is Salesforce? CRM. A CRM system. Why do you use Salesforce?
To have better organization and communication in the company.
Well, it does that, but why would you want to have a better organization and communication in the company?
Performance.
And so better performance, sell more. Why do you sell more if you have Salesforce? You have more data? What was? So you can follow up on the processes. What happens? Like, is Salesforce kind of a magic potion that when you have it, people start buying your stuff? Or is it like a virtual gun that everybody is like, your consumers suddenly feel forced to buy?
No, it helps you to
Mhm.
understanding the customer behavior.
And so,
It helps you to make decisions then in terms of like how you target, like your strategy towards retaining customers as well as gaining new ones.
so I see that you're a lot of project managers. I'm a marketer.
It helps you to satisfy better the customer's needs.
Perfect. That's the only thing is why do you do agile transformation is because you want to become a company that has an impact and that serves customers very well. You want to transform into from producing a product to a company that serves your consumers, whatever it is. And at that point, if you're focused on consumers, if you're focused on your environment, your employees, you just create an environment and a connection to your consumers that makes them happy, satisfies their interests and their needs much better than any other company. A company like Yahoo, they wanted to build a search engine to make money. That's why nobody's using it anymore compared to another company, which is Google. They just said, we want to allow every human to have access to the knowledge, all knowledge, easily, quickly, at any time. And that's why they are Google. That's why they invented Maps. That's why they invented this Google Earth. That's why they invented the whole suite. That's why they invented everything. Because they just want this incredible wealth of knowledge that is on internet to be accessible to everyone. And that's where they make money. As a side effect, focus on the impact, focus on what you want to give, and then people will start consuming. And Salesforce is so successful because it makes you just that much better in serving your customer. And so if it happens to be there at Accelerating Business Agility, that's because if you have Salesforce in your company, that makes your company more agile, that makes your company more consumer focused. Where before you were just trying to sell stuff in one point of the company, now your whole company gets integrated into the idea we're actually all here to serve consumers. So that is true for all the different companies. And whether it's the one or the other, even if it's not exactly those companies that you will see, because there's always last minute changes, we're working mostly with the people, not the company. We're working with the person inside the company. And there are several companies that can illustrate what you learned in that session. That is, again, the most important thing. It's not about the selfie of in front of the logo of Uber. It is about being in a company that is about consumer first, for example. Okay? So now that's the last part about the learning, and then I'll be quiet. Now the idea is, again, obviously it's not just something where you go and then you get a few classes. This whole thing is co-designed between EAE and UC Berkeley, and our counterpart is Pat Reed. We just put this out there so that you see that it is not just any type of program. It's a learning experience for you. It is an experience that will lead to mastery. You will be able to design a strategy for a company of your choice, for a product of your choice, to actually drive agile change in a company, to transform that service or that company. You can build that out, and you will come back with a toolkit to make that happen anywhere. And we can't tell you what this will look like because you know your environment, you know your companies. You will see all the different aspects of best practices of how it's done, from the very small one, the research lab, to the startup, to the medium size, the GAFA, the Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple type company, to the multinational old GE. And when you have all these inputs, that's when you will understand how you can actually build a strategy for yourself. And to do this, you need to be guided. You will be guided by your own faculty from EAE, who's going to come over and be with you in the workshops. And they will work in collaboration hand in hand with our faculty who has co-designed this program, who will be instructing in this program, who has chosen the best speakers on the topic, people that have a lot of academic experience, but also people that are the most relevant because they're currently working in jobs in Silicon Valley on these special topics, and who has herself decades of experience in project management. And so that's a wonderful opportunity for you to ask any question that you could possibly have about how can you in real life do something that you want to do. You have a problem, there's just something you cannot solve in a workshop. Your faculty and our faculty will be able to help you with incredible insight.
Yeah, I would add something to that. So even though Frederick and his team will be inviting faculty lectures to provide some seminars, Pat and the faculty from EAE will be the ones having constantly the pulse of the group, no? Pedagogically speaking. So yeah, that's all it does. Okay.
So is anyone expecting holidays? Good, that was the main message.
So we have at this moment, 30 places for this international residential program, and we have prioritized students, yeah? So priority 1 will be for students enrolled in these master programs, so project management, the MBA family, Master of International Business, and entrepreneurship, yeah? Priority 2 will be for those students enrolled in minors such as project management, agile project management, or international entrepreneurship, yeah? If there are still any place left, that will be allocated for alumni and students of other master programs, yeah? In case the interest is very high, we would consult with our partner, with Frederick, with UC Berkeley about the possibility to open up a second group, yeah? But this is like a starting point, yeah? Okay, what's the price? So we have divided the price into 2 possibilities. So with and without accommodation. Without accommodation, it would cost 2,500 euros. The 2 weeks, everything we have been talking here, and 3,700 euros with accommodation, yeah? Accommodation would be provided from Sunday to Saturday. So from the day before the program starts to the day after it finalizes, yeah? So it is included all the academic program, the company visits, the networking events, the workshops, the lab visits. There's a ceremony the last day, yeah, to handle the certificates. That's a very American thing, no?
Well, I guess it's worth something, the the paper. So yeah, we'd like to celebrate it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, what is not included? The travel fees and the meals, yeah? So, yeah.
Yeah, the meals is anyway something that if you're in a hotel and you take a good American breakfast,
and you go to an event at night.
yeah, usually you're good. Yeah, we have this very regularly when sometimes groups come and they don't know the area that well, and they say, no, we want a full meal plan. What a waste. Yeah, you can't handle the portions, so it's good. Don't worry too much about the food, it's plenty.
Yeah, so can we go to the next one? And the procedure, so some of you are familiarized with this, yeah? We will open up pre-registration periods next Monday. So you have 2 weeks to show your interest. to join this program at the beginning of April. We will be sorting the places, so you will get informed if you got a place. If so, then there's a first payment till the 1st of April, till the middle of April, and second payment of the tuition fees at the second half of April, yeah? If you did not get a place at the beginning of April, do not be discouraged, because some students express interest and afterwards change their minds, so there's still a possibility to rejoin the program, no?
So there will be a waiting list.
Yep. What else? All this information will be uploaded in your virtual campus from next week, yeah? So if you have any question, yeah, you have our contact details of the International Mobility Office. Yeah, but, well. So we are at your disposal to further discuss, yeah, any doubt which might arise, and yeah, so.
Any questions?
Wait a moment, can I? Yeah.
The microphone.
Yes, no, we don't.
City of where it will be,
Okay.
the included one.
I need your microphone.
Oh, yours done. Okay.
So we don't know that yet, because we don't know the number of participants interested to join with accommodation, but definitively it will be in a student dormitory on campus. Otherwise, it will be in a hotel close to the campus, yeah?
The thing that you have to see is that it's not necessarily what you would expect, or at least Berkeley is not a town like the normal college town where you have the campus and then nothing. It's integrated into the city. The campus has, in the central campus, about 100 buildings, but it owns 600 buildings. So it's literally just spreading into the city everywhere. The whole city is a university city. So the dorms, for example, they're just as far away as a hotel, for example, from the core of the campus, if you want.
Aquí.
I have a question. This program is specific for the EAE students, or you have a program in other universities, other people from around the world in specific programs?
Yes. This is, well, taking into account that's why we have this type of priorities, because, well, we understand that to really exploit all this knowledge and all this experience, then we must make sure that you receive your education with us here in project management, MBAs, etc. So it's for you as students at EAE. Yeah.
And it's really also thanks to the partnership that this can be offered at this price point, basically. I think it's about like a 60% less than usual. Normally this program for 2 weeks, anyone else would be looking at least 10,000, so.
You and the final
10,000,
group will be composed by students coming from the Barcelona campus and the Madrid campus. So we will be calling you like some time before to talk about your ideas for the project, yeah, and to get to know between yourselves and the colleagues in Madrid, yeah, and you will be guided by Mark, I hope, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's part. I think we commented this when we designed this about this project that you will be working on during these 2 weeks. Well, it's I think it's a very nice idea to gather the group beforehand, and then to start working here, at least on the ideas, to gain some, and then you will know your mates. So I think that's a good. It's very interesting to start working beforehand. Yeah.
even though if it's just a 2-week program, well, just a 2-week program, what about the visas? Can we go just with the tourist one, or do we have to go to Madrid and do all the process?
Okay.
So visa, you will go there with a tourist visa, the B1, B2, yeah? Because the student visa is so much complicated and it's for at least 3 months to be there, yeah? So the ones who have citizenship of a European country, it is as easy as getting the ESTA. It's an online formula. I'm paying $14. The ones of you who have not European citizenship of a European country, we will provide the documents you need to go to the embassy and apply for the B1, B2 visa, yeah? So meaning, among others, an invitation letter from Berkeley, yeah? So yeah, and just for you to know, so last year, students we had sent to the US in this case, to summer international residential programs, no one was rejected for the visa, yeah? So we are not the ones issuing the visa, you never know, but that's our experience, no?
During the time of the program, will the campus be active? Will we get the chance to meet students from Berkeley, or will the campus be on holiday?
So the campus is never on holiday. It's it's US. If there's no holidays. No, it's summer, so that means all the summer programs are running. So the campus will be filled with even more international students. At that point, we go beyond 50% of students being international, and you will have the chance to meet them basically in the off time that you have around the program. If there's any specific requests or points of interest that you might have, you can obviously tell us. We're happy to put you in contact or show certain parts. We have a visit planned, obviously, of the campus. So you'll be able to be in contact. It's not the same as studying for a semester at Berkeley or something in a course, so you'll see it. Yeah, there is potential.
Since I'm not taking the project management master, I'm only taking the minor, is that enough to meet the minimum requirements in order to take advantage of the program, or do I need to, I don't know, to increase my level before?
Yeah, as you see, well, the program is designed basically at business level. So you don't have to be a PMP certified project manager to understand all these, or although it's true that at least the minor in project management, which is at least 1 month of lecturing, I know the minor here in project management is not only a couple of classes. I mean, you put a lot of effort, so that would be more than enough, I think, to really take advantage of all these contents, providing obviously that your interest is at business level, transformation, innovation, and all these pillars of this master. But yeah, no problem.
The knowledge is not more difficult, it's complementary. So that's the difference. It's not that you need to like learn everything in project management and then it comes on top. It's just pieces of knowledge and practices that really don't happen everywhere. So that's what you want to learn, is these specific practices, best practices that only happen there.
I want to ask you something about the tech demo night. Is that only one night in tech demo?
So the thing is, we put it in the program because we know that it's basically always something happening, and we are going to kind of hold you by the hand to get you into at least one. So the interesting thing is, these are happening all the time, and you're even spending a whole weekend in San Francisco and the Silicon Valley Bay Area. So we just want you to show, we want to show you how to do it, make you comfortable in doing networking event, and then you go on your own as much as possible.
In my case, for example, I have a project.
Yeah.
I finished my executive MBA here 1 year ago. And during the last year,
Yeah.
I created a project,
Yeah.
and I am on the market in 3-4 weeks, more
Yeah.
or less. But for me, it's very difficult to find here some funds
Yeah.
for investors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about to go to United
Yeah.
States because
Yeah.
in the companies like mine, the investors invest hundreds of dollar millions.
Yeah, yeah.
And here it's very difficult to find something.
Yeah, so you should definitely pitch.
Yeah, and when you said that there's a lot of people in this kind
Yeah.
of pitch and some investors, I'm very interested in this point, really.
Yeah.
If there are a lot of investors, or if there are somebody who is going there for something, you know, for spend some time.
Yeah, so the thing is about these events, and I'm not sure if we would hold you to it if you would not go to exactly all of them, but you could literally start already now building out basically your network, reaching out, and we can maybe put you in contact with some organizers, for example. They're just very regularly accelerators, certain organizations, Silicon Valley Forum, for example, the GSV Accelerator, and so on, that are organizing pitch events. There's, just remember, the Foreign Startup Association that is pitching, I think, every week or every 2 weeks at Rocket Launch Accelerator. So the reality is, if you have something, I wouldn't just go there to see how it works. I would go to pitch. There's a website, and we talked with your colleagues yesterday in Madrid about it. I think that's something we can organize already here before you go, to show you how do you do networking. Here you have the same website we have in the US. It's called Eventbrite, and there you can just look on what is going on here. So everyone who is all the experts in very tech-oriented domains, or everything, basically, health, any type of interest group, if they have an event, if they meet at some place, if they want to exchange ideas, meet friends, colleagues, they put it on Eventbrite, because it's super easy to sign up there, and you can just join these types of events, and you learn already here how to network and how that works. You start building your confidence, you start building your habits of going networking, so that when you go into Silicon Valley, you're right there, you know what you're doing. And that is something that we very strongly encourage, and I think we could probably put something in place that you start doing this here already, and then with that knowledge, you can start reaching out. I would very much encourage anyone who is thinking about working with any company that is in Silicon Valley to start reaching out in your alumni network to people of EAE that are there. Connect with them, ask them out for coffee. Why not even go as far as having coming a few days earlier, or staying a few days more, and having some interviews. If you're looking for a job, if you're thinking about coming to Silicon Valley, get ready, get yourself some job interviews lined up in the week after. It's going to be very interesting for you, believe me.
Well as you see, the program goes every day till 5 o'clock, approximately. Yeah, it depends on the company visits and the day-to-day. But meaning that after 5-6 o'clock, you are free to take part on all these activities that Silicon Valley or San Francisco have, or you are also free to go for a beer. Yeah. So.
And ideally, you go to the beer in the View Lounge bar in the Marriott Hotel and drink and network.
It's part of the experience.
Yeah, it's really interesting. The students or the people that do it well are out all the time. It's really this one-time chance that you get. So you're certainly not going home. Even if you feel tired, you just take an American coffee, 4 times more caffeine than here. Believe me, if you have a Starbucks at 6 p.m., you can go all night. So I just wanted to show you this because it's oh, it's not typing? No, yeah. That website, I don't know if you can read it, eventbrite.com.
Let's check Barcelona.
Yeah. So event, Barcelona, and then just today. So you have,
We had yesterday like 90 events in Madrid.
yeah,
no?
so this is 5 pages of events that just happened today. Oh, okay, film festival. So you see, you are really the capital of arts. It's very interesting. So if you look at, I mean, there will be events. I'm sure if you take this out, so the date filter, and I'm looking for tech. The Tech Demo Day, 2019, April 4, for free. Inside the Mind of Women Tech. It's for free. It's happening where? Up.
Yeah. You see Berkeley, the guy.
Yeah. We're everywhere. So that is the type of event where you just see personalities coming, talking about certain subjects. What is nice is these types of events, women in tech events, tech meetups. What happens at these events is that they're just people that are experts in their domain that come and share. What they are sharing is not published. They do these events because they don't have time in their busy lives to just write blogs that no one reads or make postings and so on. They need to meet because the industry right now is moving faster than any journalist can put out stuff. The industry is moving faster than anything can be written, printed, and taught. If you want to be real professionals, you need to be at events like this where experts talk all the time. In Silicon Valley, it's usually about one event per week that everybody does. Like there's a whole phase in your career where you just go out about once a week. If you want to see, you can do the same thing, like Tech San Francisco. So let's see what we have today. So updating. So kindergarten inventors. Mission to Mars, tech training for Korean women. Tech learning series. There's a lot of teaching. Women in tech daily networking, drop-in hour. You're thinking of taking or getting a beer. Well, if this is a daily event, just go there if you're a woman. There might also be some smart male entrepreneurs that are like, this is the place to be. But this is, for example, yeah, what is just groups, interest groups of people coming together. And because they're all coming together with the same mindset and the same interest, you will have an amazing night and just very openly share what you're interested in and talk about. And then you have everything from uninteresting $10,000 worthless training things to actually really super interesting events that are happening. The official Certified Scrum Master CSM Alliance has an event. Oh, that's probably just Scrum Master training. and so on. So that type of event is what you can do all the time. If you're thinking about your own company and you want to pitch, you can start looking of what is happening on a regular basis. You can literally just put pitch in San Francisco, and then you will very quickly see who are the organizers of regular pitch events. So pitch globally, that is one organization that we're in contact with quite a bit. Just gonna click on this as an example. Usually they are at the Vault. Oh, this time it's at WeWork. And so what happens? Entrepreneurs from all around the world come together, attend a pitch event. So the agenda, this is actually a 4-day series. You have keynote speaker, pitch event with feedback from the experts that prepares you to meet investors. And then you can train yourself and go to even be in front of an investor panel later in the week.
We have a question
Yep.
here.
Then you say when we have free time, we go out and do this network.
You
or
don't
this.
need to, but you
It's
can.
so. It's perfect for me. I agree, but then we'll have enough time during the classes and during all the day to prepare everything that is all the projects or the activities that are assigned, or because you know how it works.
Well,
So it is a question from my side.
Yeah. Well, we have all this. You work during this journey. This day you have slots, workshops. So actually these are not normal classes that you only listen to someone. Here you participate in that classes. So you work all these hours you are working. Apart from that, we are sure you will be interested in working more outside this timetable and working and meeting with your group. So it's basically all day you're working actively.
Yeah, and that is
This kind of classes that
Yeah.
you can spend the time working on the, for example, the final
Relating.
Yeah.
project that you'll present. And
you will still get a lot of content. And the thing is, if you're staying in your hotel with your team, trying to work on the project, it will be very sterile because you don't get much new input. That's the step 4 in the learning approach. It's the networking event. If you go to a networking event, it may seem to you that you're actually going out enjoying yourself. But what do you do at the networking event? You tell people what you're doing. So you're explaining your project. And then you have Silicon Valley people giving you feedback. What is better for your project? Stay in the hotel with your team, or 3-4 people going out to networking events, each one of them explaining the project to people from Silicon Valley and getting their feedback.
I completely agree with the networking. I just wanted to make sure that we have enough time during the week to prepare everything, the kind of classes. Now I understood. Yeah.
With enough
Yeah.
coffee, with coffee too.
You also, exactly. How many coffees do you drink a day? How many coffees do you drink per day?
Depends. From 3 to 5 could be.
Okay, so that's a Spanish coffee. So imagine half a liter American coffee that is 4 times stronger in caffeine, and then times 3. So you're probably getting 16 times more caffeine than normal, so don't worry. You'll be good for 2 weeks. And actually also to the project, if you look at the final presentation is not a school project. You're not there to get a grade. The idea is that you learn how to build a strategy for agile transformation. You need to come back with a toolkit that you can start implementing. So at the end, you meet experts. These experts will listen to what you have to say and then will tell you, this is good, now do this and that, and you're done. Like, that's the next steps. So all of this has one purpose, is that you come back empowered. You're able to do something and make it happen when you come back. And so it's not a final presentation to evaluate what you've done. It's a final presentation to see how well have you done, have you understood, give you advice, and then help you with some guidelines on next steps.
Hello, so thank you for the time and explanations. I have a question. I know it's a lot about going there, having the next networking experience, getting a job probably, but if you don't want to stay there, could you explain a little bit more the certificate you get? Like, is it Berkeley signed? It has the logo?
So
What does it say?
the certificate is issued by Berkeley Extension. We are the only department of the university that actually gets to deliver certificates that carry the seal of the university. Because we are designed, again, 130 years ago, we are the department of the university that has the mission to do applied innovation and to train lifelong learners, professional learners. The other departments are research-oriented, so whatever you would get for them would just say you're a researcher. What you get from us is actually you're capable of using the latest innovation and make it happen in a company. So that's our department, and that's what you get as a certificate, and it says that you have successfully or you have participated in the custom program, so on the title, date, signature from the dean, seal. Something you want to put in your office. The thing is that you have to realize you're going to be part of the Berkeley community afterwards. You went to Berkeley, you come back anywhere in the world, you'll have that on your LinkedIn. And that's very powerful. Wherever you want to go, you can just connect with people. And people, again, everyone who went to Berkeley was kind of a person who wants to change things. It's change makers, impact people. That's not the kind of person who is sitting on their information. It's like, oh, somebody's sending me an invite. I don't know. The people were selected for that. It's people that want to share and help each other. That's the whole mindset of that university and that place.
Do you have any other question or no? Yep. The last question.
Can we still apply to the mobility grant?
To the mobility?
Grant for this program?
We will launch that, but only for the students. Well, yeah. We will launch the EAE International Mobility Grants, but this time only addressed to students of project management, of the Master in Project Management, yeah? You will be, the students of project management will be broadly informed from Monday, yeah? Yep. Any other question? No? How do you feel? What do you think?
I just wanted to show you, that is the event you want to go to, Angel Lounge. They always have around 30% of attendees that are investors. So they have between 100 and 200 people coming to each event, around 12 to 15 startups pitching. And so they have so what you see here is the demo. They demo their things, and then they have special dedicated time to talk to investors.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, Frederick, for being here with us and share on-site and face-to-face with our students this summer program, yeah, and we hope you had a nice experience with us.
Well, we are very, very excited to make this happen. As I said, it's a wonderful collaboration with EAE. We're learning a lot. We are actually looking forward to learning a lot from you. You're a very diverse group. You have very interesting backgrounds. And yeah, we're looking to see what we can get from you and learn from you. And hopefully some of you will stay and help out with our job crisis.
Very good. So thank you to the students as well who could not join today here, both from Barcelona and Madrid, which are online, and the alumni anywhere in the world. And yeah, so see you in San Francisco, yeah?
Okay.
See you. Bye bye.
And if you have some questions for us now, just don't hesitate, come up and see us.